Pawn Man at the Minnesota State Fair. Deep fried candy bars. I just had mini donuts. I'm not gonna eat a deep fried candy bar. I like my arteries too much. Sweet Martha's cookies. I used to have an English teacher that would say that instead of Jesus Christ. He goes, Sweet Martha's cookies. Those of you that watch my YouTube, I think the con artist would absolutely love this show. The Minnesota State Fair started in 1855. They call it the Great Minnesota Get-Together because it's like a huge portion of the state comes out to it. It starts in late August. It goes through Labor Day. It's been on these grounds since 1885, so almost 140 years. It's a collection of all things great Minnesota, great foods that you can find, some stuff you can't find, and great people watching. We're about to get on the gondola. I brought my employee / know my camera person with me. I don't really do rides. I'm kind of afraid of heights and I'm kind of a pussy, but I think this will be fine, right? It's like a dumb ski lift. Have I mentioned how accident prone I am? And if this cable snaps, it's definitely because I'm on it. This is enough to like break your back. Oh no, now we're gonna die. If you kind of go, we stop. That right there is the grandstand, which has been used since 1916, and you can see Minneapolis right over there. So a lot of history here at the State Fair. And you can see the University of Minnesota Water Tower where I went to school. Ferris wheel, which we will be going on shortly. And this here is the Midway, which is where all the rides are. And I've seen the movie Final Destination, so no thanks. Also, it's like fun cable shopping network. If you want to buy a lawnmower or anything else, just look down. State Fair also has its own Space Needle, which you can see behind me. We're at information. We're trying to find the spam booth. So there's this thing, if you want to be an English cab driver, you have to take this test called the Knowledge, where you have to know everything about roads and maps and navigation in the UK, or at least in London. That lady was like the Minnesota knowledge test. I look like such a fucking shooby too, walking around with this map. I got duck bacon wontons and I got an elk burger. Here's the duck. Not for me. And the elk burger. That's pretty good. Lumberjack contest. This is the Ferris wheel, which we're about to go on. We're on top of the Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel, I can't think of without, or I can't see it without thinking of the Chicago World's Fair from 1893, the World Exposition. It's because that was the first time it was on display, and I've talked about this many times here on this page. Serial killer H.H. Holmes ruined that fair, and every ingenious design that was on display, everything from electricity to not ingenious machine guns to the Ferris wheel, so many other things were overshadowed by his crimes. But take a look at this view from the top of the Minnesota State Fair Ferris wheel. Now I'm walking by the Kidway. I'm looking for the con artist. I haven't seen him yet, but he's got to be around here somewhere. Again, if you don't watch my YouTube channel, go watch it. Oh, like Heroes of 9/11. That's an original door panel signed by a fire crew that responded, first responders. This is one of my favorite exhibits here at the State Fair. These are all official Find a Minnesota lakes. This is from the Department of Natural Resources. I had a river that ran through my cabin growing up, and we would get river fish, which are some of these monsters. And as like a little kid, if you find a fish that's like 5-6 feet that washed up, you kind of don't want to get in the water. I also occasionally caught fish this big, and one time I threw my rod in the water because I saw it was on the other end and I was so afraid of it. According to the DNR, this is a full map of what you can expect to find natively for Minnesota fish. It's interesting, the worst thing that's somehow not on this board, even though I have so much experience with them, are dogfish or eel pout. The common carp is on here, but not dogfish. And here's what I really want to talk about is Spam. Invented in 1937 by Hormel Foods and made popular during World War II because of the logistics of shipping meat overseas to soldiers, Spam is an American staple. What does Spam stand for? It's kind of like, what's in the KFC recipe? Nobody knows, not only the high-ups. I'm not a picky eater, but I'm not like a super liberal one. I've never had Spam. Hi, I'm gonna have a Spam burger, please. One-handed filming's going great. Here's 12, keep the change. It's actually not bad. For clarification, that is not what it stands for. Pigeons. Here we go. You look more like my friend from New York. The Emperor's New Groove is not eating at Subway. Are you guys plotting against us? I'm a Hitchcock fan myself, so.
King of the castle, I have a job.
Last thing of the day, the giant slide, which I used to love riding down as a kid, and now I'm 35, going down a giant slide. Let's do it. So now we pick our rug. Definitely has no bacteria on it whatsoever. I just lost my ticket. I had to find it and try to explain that I'm not a 35-year-old man by myself trying to get on a child slide. All right, boys, let her rip. Fucking 5. Ah! 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 So easily amused. We are heading out of here. My cameraman, who's very tired, and me, who's also using bad grammar and is a little drunk. We had a great time. If you have time, come to the Minnesota State Fair. Best state fair in the country. I'm high maintenance, if you guys couldn't tell. I had a fun time. So come on by the Minnesota State Fair. If you missed it this year, it happens every year. And like and follow Pond Man for more.